So remember last week I said to you that the sessions usually works in sessions of two going hand in hand. So last week we started with values, we did values, and we didn't actually continue with that. We identify the values. I showed you how you can identify the values, and you repeat it over again. You've got moving towards values, moving away from values, and then your new master values that specifically speaks to your goal that you identified in session number 1. So that's the 3 sets of values that you had. In this session, we're going to take that values and we're going to use them in getting to a place where we want to be. Now, let me just refresh your memory quickly. Beliefs, values, and rules. That's what we see as the 3 important sessions. Beliefs is usually the indicator that there is a problem with your behavior. Let me turn that around. If there's a problem with your behavior or your client's behavior, usually the answer lies in the beliefs. If there is a problem with choices that people make in life, usually the problem or the answer lies in the values. With rules, if somebody is unhappy, he's not a happy person, he's tend to argue a lot, or there's confrontation between him and other people, but there is a level of unhappiness. Rules is always the problem. All right. All arguments, if I can make this statement, all arguments is rules-based arguments. Behind that argument is a rule. If you then take that rule and you pull it apart, you will see why there is an argument, and then you can redefine the rule, and that will have a huge positive impact on the relationship between you and that specific person. Now, what is rules? Rules are strategies or standards that we set, usually subconsciously, but then it becomes a habit or a pattern. And what we're doing is we're using those strategies in a way to give us pain and to give us pleasure, to make us happy and also to make us unhappy. And it always goes hand in hand with behavior and response. So let me give you, now I will give you an example later on. So there is something that happens in my life, or let me take it back to beliefs. I've got a belief, I've got a limiting belief, or I've got an empowering belief. That limiting or empowering belief is dictating my actions and influencing my behavior. All right, I've already said that to you in session number 3. Now, the way that I approach and live that belief, to do that, I need a strategy. And that strategy is what we call rules. So if I've got a limiting belief, and I will say to myself, my limiting belief is I'm not a good salesman, just to give you an example now. I will then, every single time that there is a trigger that triggers me, that belief will kick in, and the trigger will then cause me to put a strategy in place. And that strategy is a set of rules. How am I going to handle this trigger as soon as I become aware of what is happening in my life? Let's take it to the now homework conversation. If I don't do my homework because I do all my task-orientated steps, but not my people-orientated steps, then obviously the trigger here is the people-orientated steps. So as soon as I'm confronted through limiting beliefs for self-talk or a dialogue that somebody shared with me, that it's not worthwhile doing this people-orientated step, then I've got a set of rules and say, how am I going to handle that? Okay, at the end of the day, I'm not going to attend what I'm supposed to attend, because my mind is telling me that I'm going to put myself out of my comfort zone when I do that. So I've got this strategy and that set of rules to make myself feel better when I'm confronted with a trigger in a specific situation. And that trigger is causing either pain or pleasure, and that influences my nervous system. You remember the neurotransmitters that we had. When that trigger takes place, immediately it fires, and that firing mechanism fires through my nervous system, and immediately there is some plan or strategy that's coming to the forth, and that is what we call rules. And that is exactly how we then operate in life, either experiencing pain or experiencing pleasure. Okay, so what I want to do is the following. I want you to communicate with me, and I want you to tell me, is there anybody in this group, when you did your values last week, that identified love in this in place number 1 or rejection in place number 2? We haven't got time that I go through all your sets of values now. So you need to assist me. Have a look at your values and tell me, what is your first 3 values? Is there love high up and rejection? And let's talk a little bit about that. You will know by now that is 2 conflicting values. Or let me rather ask this. Is there any person sitting here who's got love in the first position? Let me start there.
Me.
I can't hear.
I said me, if I'm going to volunteer.
Who is me?
Charmaine.
Charmaine. All right, Charmaine, so I'm going to work with you. I will come back to this page on my presentation. Let me stop my screen sharing and let me do this exercise with you as a demo, and everybody can see that. All right. So love is your most important value. Now, remember I said last week that when you've got an important value in your life, it's important for you to experience that value on a regular basis, because that will influence you, that will give you energy, that will make you feel good every single day, most probably. All right. So I want to ask you a question, and I want you to give me an answer. First of all, when you talk about love, define that for me a little bit, or just give me a little bit of practical examples of what do you see as love? A person living, are you talking about love with a person living in your same house? Is that when you talk about love?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, let's go.
I think sorry, I didn't attend last week because I was in Cape Town. So I hope I'm doing it correctly. But for me, love, when I think about it, and I think the reason it's such a high value for me, or the number one, is I think it's family is very important, as well as partner. It's just the way I am, and I've been like that since I was a little kid.
100%.
Feeling loved and giving love. That's just, I don't know if I can change that, but that's...
No, 100%. Can we be a little bit more specific? And if you say partner, let's talk about a name.
Oh, okay. I suppose my late husband, and my daughter. And then after that, my parents, my sisters, my aunts.
Okay, let's talk about your daughter, because you mentioned her second. And who's the other ones? Other family members?
Just my parents, my aunts, my sisters.
Okay, your siblings. All right. Okay. And is there anybody that is staying with you that you now just mentioned?
Only my daughter. My husband's passed away, so my daughter and myself.
All right. Let's take your daughter as the example. I can use the other ones as well, but I just want to demonstrate something here. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Will you agree with me that it's important for you to experience love? Because that is your highest value, obviously. You agree with me? All right. So for you to experience love, is it important that you experience love on a daily basis?
Yes.
Because it's your highest value. Okay. So for you to experience love, what must your daughter do on a daily basis? Think a little bit about it. Think about your relationship. Think about the dynamics in your house. And what must she do for you to experience love from her on a daily basis?
Well, for me, I know how I am and who I am. I need affection, but I also need verbal affirmation as well. And,
okay, so
and I give that too.
You need affection and you need verbal affirmation.
Yeah.
Let's only use that too. Okay, what specific affection is important for you? Let's
just
be more specific.
hugs and I think mostly hugs.
Well,
She's
hugs.
a
All right.
teenager now, so I'm not
Yes.
allowed to do too much, but you know, kisses and hugs and
Now just say to me what you just said to me. She's a teenager now. I didn't hear what followed that.
It's we're not I'm not allowed to do as much as I used to when she was small.
But you need it.
I do, yes, and I think
Right.
she puts up with me.
Let's only use hugs. Let's talk about verbal affirmation. Give me a little bit more specifics.
It's I love yous and nicknames and little pet names and a general gentleness, I guess, in the way that we speak.
Okay. So you say the expression of I love you is important, and then there's a gentleness in the way that you're speaking to one another. All right. I'm going to keep it there. I'm not going to ask more information, because what I want to show you and show the other people will come out clearly in what you are giving me. So if you look in your book, you will see that there is the 3 values that you need to transfer from the previous session. So in Charmaine's case, she has transferred love and 2 other ones as her moving towards values. I now ask her for you to experience that love. What is it that you need to get on a daily basis from these people that you identified as important role players in your experiencing of love? So the answers then is written on the next page where it says love. You write there the different rules there. Your daughter needs to do the following. She needs to give me a hug at least once a day, because you said on a daily basis. She needs to give me verbal affirmation by expressing her love to me. They say, I love you. And she needs to be gentle in communication with me. Charmaine knows exactly what gentleness means. We maybe don't know that, but she knows exactly what it is. So if I say to her, your daughter needs to express gentleness in a relationship with you, she feels what I'm talking about as she sits here, because she knows exactly what it is. And you feel the pleasure and the value that you link to the value of love there. So every single client will have a different understanding on the answers that he or she will give you. It's possible that Zanele don't know exactly what is meant at this moment with gentleness. She understands the meaning of the word gentleness, but she don't understand the emotion that Charmaine and her daughter experience when they communicate with one another in that gentle manner. So it's very subjective when you do this exercise. Now, Charmaine, you said to me that it's important for your daughter to give you a hug every single day. And it's important that she express her love by saying, I love you on a daily basis, and there must be very gentle communication. If you look in your book now, you will see there's a scale there, a value scale. It says that you're moving towards values. And then it asks you a question, and it say, for each of your highest values there, your value is now love. That is your highest value. If easy is 1 and difficult is 10 out of 10, how easy did you make it for yourself to feel that value? Or let me turn it around. How easy did you make it for your daughter to show you that value in the information that you've given me? Did you make it very easy for her?
I think so, but it also depends on. It could also depend on my emotional state that day.
Now, let me ask the following question. How difficult have you made it for yourself to experience love from your daughter on a daily basis, on a scale from 1 to 10?
I see what you're saying. Apologies. No. Which was easy? Was that the lower scale?
1 was easy, 10 was difficult. I'm asking you, how difficult did you make it for yourself to experience that love from your daughter?
2 or 3. 3.
No, I think it's just the other way around. You made it extremely difficult for yourself to experience that love, because you're giving your daughter a blank check. She must give you a hug on a daily basis. She must be gentle with you. She must say, I love you. So you make it for yourself very difficult, because she's sitting with the decision and the control. If she don't say it to you on a daily basis, you see what I mean?
I see where you're getting, what you're getting at. Okay.
So you've got a rule, and your rule is, I want to experience love on a daily basis. It's very important for you. But with this rule, I make it so difficult for myself, because I'm giving my daughter all the control. Now, you said she's a teenager. Her emotions go up and down. She's all over the place. She's busy working out her own identity. Typically, teenagers, there might be 2 days going, 2 days that she don't say to you, Mom, I love you. If it's not happening now, it might happen next week. It might happen next month. But it's a huge possibility that there might come a day or 2 or 3 that she can't be gentle every single time, because the emotions are all over the place. Or she don't say, I love you. It all depends on emotional intelligence and the relationship between 2 people, but we're working on averages here. Yeah. And your subconscious mind is saying to you, my highest value is love. I need to experience love from my daughter on a daily basis. So when you don't experience this, even if she goes away on a hockey tour, for instance, for a week, or she go and stay with grandma for a week, etc., she don't give you a hug. You're not there. And your subconscious mind is going to tell you, my rule, there's a problem with my rule. It will dictate my happiness. So you need to take that rule, and you need to panel beat that rule a little bit to make sure that you take the control back. Now, I'm only talking about love, about your daughter. Imagine what is your rules on some of the other values. A value that hasn't got the emotional loading and impact of the relationship that we're talking about. I'm talking about you're not very happy at work, for instance, and there's a colleague that is irritating you every single time. And I'm now asking you, what does that colleague need to do to you to irritate you? Your happiness is dictated by what that person is doing. But it's your rule now. So if you can take that rule, panel beat it, to change it a little bit in your relationship towards that colleague, and take control 100% back, then you will experience that value, even if it's in the second or the third spot. You will experience it on a regular basis. So you change the difficult to easy in the way that you panel beat and reformatted your rule, basically. Okay. Yes. You with me, Charmaine?
I actually think maybe love isn't my first value then, after all that, because I'm quite capable of being okay with.
Well, there might be.
So maybe I must reassess my values.
Not necessarily. You gave me a cue in the first sentence that you said. When I ask you, what do you see as love? I set a trap for you. You said to me, the way I experience and give love. I haven't focused on that at all, because we are selfish human beings. So I've set a trap for you by asking you, what must she do for you to experience love? But there's another side to that love. You also experience love when you do certain things towards her. And I'm not.
Okay, so maybe my giving is satisfying the need.
Your giving is 100% giving you the emotional satisfaction that you link to that value. Therefore, you can live without that for a while. But if it becomes 2 weeks and a month, then obviously it will influence you hugely. So your value is not necessarily wrong in position number 1. But I always say to the people, the more emotionally intelligent your client is, and the more traumatic experiences they had in life, they realize, even Christians as well, they realize that life is not about me. So it's actually a trick question to ask your client, what must somebody do to you or for you to experience it? But you want that because you want to elicit their rules, and that is the rules and the strategies that they live by, because you need to show that. I'm sure when you go on with the other 5 values on your list and you do exactly the same exercise, you will see rules that you say, this rule is making me very, very unhappy. I need to change that. And I will show you how we change rules then later on. All right.
Thank you.
Good. So let's go back to the manual. So there you've got your rule, your old moving towards values. Charmaine's one was love. You put your first, second, and third one here, and also the moving away from values. This is a powerful exercise for the moving away from values. A rejection, for instance, for me, I don't want to experience a rejection in life. Now, what must happen for me to experience a rejection? In my mind, that rejection is always linked to a person or a situation or an event that happened in the past. So I can then immediately say, this is my rules. That person must not even walk the same earth as me. But I'm giving him a blank check to make me unhappy. Because if I bump into him in Pick and Pay, I've immediately, emotionally, I don't feel the rejection immediately, but when I turn around and my subconscious mind is going to feed me that specific emotion, and I will feel that rejection sometime during my day, and that will make me unhappy. So it's a very powerful exercise for the moving away from values as well. Then in your, when you elicit the rules, when I asked Charmaine the questions, it was very easy because she immediately gave me the answer, but it's not always that easy. Ensure that you understand what do the client mean by love. If she say love, what do you mean by love? Make sure that the love is linked. She told me what love is, and she fell into the trap. She said, experience and give, but I ignore the give completely. And I make sure that I've got a value that I can work with there. Focus on what someone must do for you to experience the value. I know there's internal emotions, and I know that you link the value on what you are doing as well. But there's not a lot of people like you. Most people out there, if I want to feel love, my immediate thinking goes to what must something else do? And that is the question that you need to ask. What someone, and must be a name, must do for you to experience this value. If it's a vague, that's why I said to her, can we link a name to this? Because I don't want to use the name family or etc. Then focus on specific. Give me the detail, because the more detail you give me, the more refined is your rule, your strategy to experience happiness. And I want to link to that detail that you are giving me there. Need verbal affirmation. I said to her, let's panel beat it a little bit. Let's look at it. What do you mean by verbal affirmation? And then she said she must say once a day, I love you. There must be a gentleness in communication. I can even break that a little bit further down if I want to, but I understand exactly where she came from. And then the answers must not be subjective to the client or to the coach. So what I mean about that is somebody else, although the feeling, the emotion is subjective to Charmaine, because I can't feel the same that she's feeling when a daughter is showing gentleness in communication. But I can understand with my mind, I can understand what she means by somebody must be gentle, and therefore I can work with that. The question that I ask is, what must that person do for you to experience? And then you add the value to that. If you say freedom, what must do for you to experience freedom, etc. So you put in there the question, and that will immediately kickstart it. Right. I'm going to give you the example of previous sessions that we worked on. It was love in this instance. The kids must at least once a day give me a hug, exactly the same as Charmaine. Loved ones must listen to me when I speak. Now, I can make this a little bit more specific here. Husband must touch me when walking past me. Now, I brainstormed this and I showed the degree of easiness and difficult. There is your scale. How easy did you make it for that person to dictate your happiness? Very, very easy, because I gave her a blank check for the hugs, for the gentle communication, for everything. Okay. Now, there's in Charmaine's situation, there is a counter argument, but I won't focus on that at all. She became aware of it when I said to her, but remember, you said give as well. So I'm not going to say, but you've got selfish rules necessarily. Okay. And then the next page, now for you moving away from values, write down 3 things that has to happen for you to really feel that value. So here you have got your moving away from values that you identified on page number 6, and you do exactly the same thing for this value, and that value. Now, you can work with 1 value, or you can work with 2, or you can work with 3. It all depends on the time that you've got available in that specific session. If you've got lots of time, you can use 2 values or 3 values. But for practical purposes, please make a note. You remember when we did beliefs, I said to you, for practical purposes, when you do your practical work that you record and go through, you must do 1 limiting belief. You need to do the other ones as well, but you don't have to record that conversation necessarily. The same here with rules. I want you only to give me 1 moving away from value, and the other ones you can do, but record the moving away from value 1, because there you're going to show us if you can conduct that conversation that we need. All right. So that will be this specific page. And once again, you're moving away from. How easy did you make it for your ex-husband to make you feel miserable? If you say your rule is, he must never phone me. All right, so my rule is he must never phone me. So what if he phoned me? He's dictating my happiness. I make it so easy for him and so difficult for me because he's got the control. All right, can you see that we can use this in marriage counseling a lot? Okay, so how do I change that rule? So now I've got the rule and now I need to change that. First of all, you need to change the rule in a way that you say to yourself, I've got 100% control over my rule. Nobody else have got any control over this rule. I dictate my own happiness. I can follow this rule because I control it 100% and nobody else control my rules. You must work with the same rule. You cannot set a completely new rule. What I mean with this is when we talk about my daughter must give me a kiss once a day, the same rule is my daughter must give me a kiss once a day, and I will change that rule, but it must include my daughter and it must include a kiss or a hug or whatever, or something like that. Okay. Now, here's a few rules. This 3 rules is very important. The best way to change a rule is from what somebody must do for me to give. Every time I give my daughter a hug, I will experience love in my life. Now, I'm not saying on a daily basis. I say every time. So it might happen that for a week, I don't give her a hug because she's not here, but that won't influence my happiness. Okay, because I control that rule. And link the rule always to an act of kindness. So if I don't necessarily give something, what is an act of kindness? If I call you once a day and I say I love you, that is either I call you or I tell you in person once a day I love you, that will be experience of love. So if you're not here, I can call you. If you are here, I can tell you. But you control that rule 100%, an act of kindness. Or I will help somebody going to buy, or I will buy groceries for somebody that I know haven't got transport to go and buy our own groceries, for instance. That will be my act of kindness. I will experience love when I do that. Focus on the fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5, verse 20, if I'm not mistaken. There's a whole list of fruit of Spirit. Link your giving to that specific and your acts of kindness to the fruit of spirits in Galatians 5:20. Be specific, don't be vague, because if you're vague, it might still influence your happiness. If you are specific and say, I need to do this specific thing for me to experience love, I've got control. If it's vague, if I say, my colleagues must do the following, or I'm going to do this for my colleagues, I've got control because I'm going to do it. But my colleagues is so wide, I cannot really experience love if I define my rule in that manner. And you need to communicate your rules. Now, this is important for people. Let me give you an example. If Charmaine is now saying to me, I need to give my daughter at least, I must tell her every single day, I love you. And there isn't a relationship between her and her daughter at the moment where she expresses her love that specific way. The daughter is going to be saying, what the hell is going on here? My mom never told me she loves me. Now, suddenly, every single day, she's telling me. Now, there's a lot of conversations that you're going to have with your clients, and that conversation is going to be an implementation of a decision, and rules is usually one of those instances in your coaching conversation. So it's important that you communicate with this person. You say, you know what, I realized today that my happiness is influenced by my experience of love. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this on a daily basis because that will make me a happier person in life. Communicate it with the people. Stay away from must. There is no word like I must do this or somebody must do that. If that's part of your rules, change that completely. Be careful for sub-rules or conditions or two rules that is merged into one. I'm going to do this and this on a daily basis. That is, or if somebody is going to do it, I will experience love. That is a condition. It's not a rule. Okay. Formulate your goal in a positive manner, no negative words in that specific rule. The example of the client with love, every time I give my kids a hug and a kiss, I will experience love. I would even mention the kids' names. I will say, this one, or this one, a hug, kiss, I will experience love. So that makes it a little bit easier and it gives me more control. Every time, not on a daily basis. I will sit down with a person when I'm talking to them. It's important. My rule was that my husband must look in my eyes when I talk to him. Now, that's a very difficult rule because people don't communicate that way. So when we do communicate, I will sit down with that person and I will talk to them. And that will give me the satisfaction of good communication. Every time my husband touched me, not my husband must touch me when he walked past me. I'm changing it to say every time my husband touched me, I will do. All right. And you can then go back to this one and test that rule by saying how easy, how difficult, you know that. And then with the moving away from, you do exactly the same thing. Okay. Just with them moving away from value. Now, I want to give you you will see there's two books that I've gave you here, the titles here. There's a wonderful book on his needs, her needs. The book's title is His Needs, Her Needs by Dr. William Harley. He also wrote a book called Love Busters. And at the end of that book, there is an assessment. I use this with all my clients, and it's part of our relationship coaching as well, where you ask the two partners, can you complete this questionnaire? And it's about 5-6 pages with needs, specific needs. And it tells you what is the important needs of your partner and your important needs as well. Now, there is an old saying, I don't know if you know the little the image that I want to use as a bank account, a love bank account. In a marriage or in any relationship, it works exactly the same. We make deposits into a joint bank account. And we do withdrawals from that bank account as well. And if there's no deposits, if there's no money there, then you can't make withdrawals, because when you withdraw, there's arguments and there's fights and there's communication problems, etc. So you need to make sure that your love tank is always full, or your bank account is always full. And you do that by focusing on the primary needs of your partner. So if I say to myself, what I'm going to do is and me and my wife do it on a regular basis. As soon as we realize that we're working so hard, there's something that's influencing our emotional experience of one another in our relationship, I will then go away for an afternoon and I will talk to her and I will say, right, I'm going to focus for the next week, or without even telling her, I will start focusing on only her two most important primary needs. And I will do that the whole week, every single day, morning, afternoon, evening, etc. I will just focus on her primary needs. I will completely forget about my needs. And by doing that, I'm depositing into that bank account a lot of deposits. So if I do want to withdraw, there's enough money in the love bank for me to withdraw. And this is the principle that William Harley introduced to us here. Love Busters is just working the opposite. What are you doing that causes withdrawals from that love bank all the time, or that bank account all the time? So what is the list of the Love Busters? And there's also an assessment what you and your partner complete, and say, what is the Love Busters in my life that I really don't want, the moving away from? Okay. They say that an easy recipe for you to fall in love with your wife after 20 years is just ask her to feed your primary needs for 2 weeks, every single day for 2 weeks. Just feed my primary needs, morning, afternoon. In 2 weeks, I'm so in love with her again, exactly the same that I was when I was 25 or 23 or 35 years of age. All right. And then the other book, most of you know it, Love Languages by Gary Chapman. He also wrote a wonderful book, 4 Seasons of a Marriage. It's so wonderful. He's saying to you that in wintertime, you need to make sure that you invest. No, the other way around. In summertime, you need to invest, and you invest by doing certain things. And there's also a few assessments there. How can I invest in me and my partner's life? And in wintertime, when it becomes a winter season in our relationship, then it's no problem, because there was enough investment made in the summer season of our relationship to carry us through in the winter time of this relationship. Also a wonderful book, if you want to specialize in relationship coaching, we've got a wonderful course on the relationship coaching, and this is 2 of the things that we do as different modules in our relationship coaching. All right. The rules for your new master values, once again, my new master values is linked to my SMRTI goal. So for you to achieve that and be happy in my achievement, not when I achieve it, in the process, what is the rules that I'm going to set for myself in experiencing value number 1, value number 2, and value number 3 of my master values? And here you can use imagination. What will make me happy on a daily basis? Chasing this SMRTI goal, experiencing this value, because the more I experience this value on a daily basis, the more motivated I will be, the more energy I will have, and that will play a huge part in me achieving my SMRTI goal at the end of the day. All right, the rest of the session, I'm not going to go through that. You know the action steps by now. You know the what do you call it? The note from your coach. Go through the exercises. Go back to what have I learned today. You complete the coach's page. Same story over and over again. Let's now turn to the homework, and I want you to listen carefully, because there is a little curveball here. There's 2 readers already uploaded for you. Reader number 10 and 13, needs awareness and coaching obstacles. Now, next week, if you are ready, next week will be session number 7. And you can start your practical coaching with a client after next week's session. Even if we haven't done our training, you will be able to start with session number 1. I will not recommend that, but it all depends on your motivation. Why are you here? And what is the end goal that you are working towards? All right. So you can. For that reason, I made a presentation available, or video available. You will see here right at the bottom, planning my practice. So I want you, it's 5-6 minutes. That is, how are you going to plan your practice? You need to plan your practice before you can start your practical work. So I want you to go through that video, watch it, and also make notes. Remember last week I said to you, please forward your questions to me that I need to answer when we talk about marketing, the way forward, building my practice, registering my business, talking to SARS. What about bank accounts? What bank do you recommend? All that, please send me that questions. And you will get a few questions when we look at that video. Next week, I'm going to make a second video available on your practical work. So you've got 2 weeks to ask me questions on your practical work, because after the third week in November, I'm not there anymore for you. You need to contact me, but I'm not there on a regular basis necessarily. Okay. So that is important. Download the readers. Watch that specific video. And then there's 2 assignments this week. There's assignment 10 and there's assignment 11. Assignment 10 is all about the rules that we did tonight. And assignment 11 is about needs for next week. Now, important the following. Assignment 10 is a practical as well as a personal application part. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 questions that you need to answer and send it in. The submission date is on the Word document. And then there's a practical part of that assignment as well. I will come back to that in a minute. Then you've got assignment 11 is no practical work, only questions that you need to answer. Now, please, when you see the question, you will not have the answer. And then if you don't read the reader, you're going to call me and say, what is this that you are talking about? The answer is in reader 10. So you don't have to call me. It's in reader number 10 on needs awareness. The answers to these questions, and you need to answer that. You've got 24 hours longer than assignment 10's answer to submit that questions. There's no practical assignment. Let me now go back to assignment number 10. There is a practical assignment. Now, your practical assignment, maybe I must just quickly go through. No, it's not necessary. You will understand this. So what you're going to do is, you remember the first few weeks, you did a conversation with yourself or a coaching buddy. You facilitate and present the content of all the sessions in front of a mirror, your dog, your husband, your wife, your sister, whatever the case may be. It was not a coaching conversation. It was only a presentation based on your knowledge to make sure that you understand the structure. You're going to do the same here. For session number 6, this is rules that we did tonight. You're going to do exactly the same, but you do not need to record you for the whole session, but you need to record you for a second activity. That's part of activity number 1. So you're going to present this whole session 6 to somebody just to make sure that you understand the structure and the order and the templates and the knowledge, etc. When you get to the no homework conversation on page number 2, you start recording yourself from the beginning of the no homework conversation until the end of the no homework conversation. Now, remember, it's not a conversation that you're going to have with somebody else. I only want you to get comfortable with the presentation of the structure. So the structure that I shared with you, the 4 steps, the assessment, get behind, get the information, and then the motivation part, and then the change part and the implementation part, the focus part and the implementation part, that whole process with the sub-steps, you need to present that to somebody to show that you know what is the content and you know what to do with that. All right. So you record only the no homework part, but you need to do the whole part. Okay. And that submission for that recording is next week and Wednesday evening. The date is given in the assignment for you. All right. So that is important that you do that 2 assignments. The 2 coach workbooks are already published for you. The presentation is already published. There's an audio, the no homework audio between Natasha and Neil. 2 comments that I want to make. First of all, note that Neil is working with more than one Smurty goal. So he's working with 2 life areas. The one is physical health, and the other one is opening our own business and building a business. So you will only, you've got a repetition of 2 conversations basically built into one there. The second thing that I want you to say is, that conversation can be very confusing. Don't overcomplicate your conversation with your client. Stick to the 4 stages and the sub-steps that I gave you, and you will get to the same point at the end of the day. He's all over the place, all right? I'm just giving it to you, and the transcript is a word-for-word conversation. Also a little bit confusing, but a little bit better than maybe even his conversation. All right. Okay. And then that will be the 2 that will given to you. And then the video presentation, the rules will be uploaded Sunday, Monday, somewhere around there. Okay. I'm going to stop and you will have the opportunity to ask questions. I just want to say 2 things. With my one-on-one conversations up to now, there's still a few people that must talk to me, but don't worry, I will get to that. Kelly and who was that? Yanni will, before we leave, just give me your answer on my question at the beginning. There is 2 problems that I see with the people that are already had the conversation. Not all of them, but where people battle with understanding and application. Usually the following is the reasons for that. Number 1, you attending this specific session. Now, this is the first time that you hear this. So you attend the session and then you do not go through the video recording again to take your time, work through everything, take your own time to look at the specific pages, etc. And then obviously you can't link certain things to certain templates, etc. And then you will battle when you get to the application part of the process. So that is a important thing. The second thing that I want to say to you is the following. If you get behind, if you stick to session 1, 2, 3 on a weekly basis, but you get behind, that's possible. We are human, and you've got a lot of work and a lot of irons in the fire. And you want to update yourself and you catch up. If you want to catch up 5 sessions in one morning, it's not going to work. Because your subconscious mind needs to start processing. Even your conscious mind needs to process theoretical principles. And if you feed everything to yourself on one morning, and then when I've got a conversation with you and I ask you, what do you battle with? And you tell me what you battle with, I can immediately see. But you didn't spend 10 hours now with the 5 sessions. You put it together as one product, and then you went through it in one exercise, and you think that is going to solve your problem. It's not going to solve your problem. So please, we're ending in November. If you want to start your practical work in January, that's not a problem. I'm giving you till the end of April. You've got 4 months, ample opportunity. And even I will extend it for you if it's a major problem and you're motivated as such. So do not push yourself to say, because the practical work is now in front of me, I need to, as quickly as possible, I need to start identifying clients and I need to take them through the process. Do not do that. Use the last part of November and December to review the work, to go through the process, to coach yourself, especially when there's a subject that's difficult for you. Like, for instance, let's say you know what is a limiting belief, but you never had experience about identifying your own limiting beliefs. Listening to my presentation and looking at the book is not going to assist you in having a conversation with a client. Go through the session on limiting beliefs. Identify your own limiting beliefs. See if you can set a new empowering belief. Install that new empowering belief. If you battle, there's enough time to contact me and say, listen, can you help me out here? Can you do this? Can you do this? All right. Trying to put everything now suddenly together because we're 3 weeks away from the practical process is not going to be conducive for you. All right. Take your time. I would rather give you more time because I want you to be a successful coach than to say, you know what, you did the practical work. I'm going to give you a certification at the end of the day, and there you fall flat on your face because you cannot conduct a coaching conversation. So make sure that you go through the processes and that you review and you coach yourself. You don't have to memorize the readers. You just need to use that as a foundation, and the workbook is the most important part. All right. Okay, so that is my part. It's 1 minute to 9. On some watches, it's already 9 o'clock. So over to you, whatever you want to ask me. All right, nobody's got any questions? Then that will be the end of the evening. Everything is already in the Learning Center except for tonight's presentation. I will edit that only Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, and then I will upload it for you. All right. Okay. Hopefully it was a lekker easy session tonight. Not that difficult. The more we go towards the end, the easier it becomes. You agree with me?
More confusion it becomes.
More confusion. Oh, no, Zanele. No. All right. Okay, Zanele. If it's really the case, let's talk again. Let's make an appointment and let's see where I can assist you if it's more confusing. All right. I understand. I don't judge you at all.
Leon,
okay.
Sorry,
yes,
may I ask for 2 o'clock? Is that okay?
2 o'clock on Monday afternoon or Tuesday?
Monday.
100%. 100% confirmed. I will send you the Zoom invite. Yanni?
Can I do 4 o'clock on Monday, please?
100%. 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock confirmed. I will send out the Zoom invites, and I will then meet you on Zoom. Yes.
Can I do any time in the afternoon on Tuesday?
Kylie, let's make it 2 o'clock on Tuesday.
Great, thank you.
Let me just quickly write your name, or else I don't know where I send this. Charmaine Kelly, 2 o'clock, and Yanni Allen at 4. Yanni, you know is Yanni Allen.
She was a journalist.
Very famous, famous journalist when I was younger.
May I ask?
Give you
sorry,
the rest of the story. Yes, Charmaine.
I apologize to interrupt you. Has everyone got a buddy? Because I am the Lone Ranger at this point.
No, Delta, you contacted me and you said you haven't got a buddy.
Yes, Leon. But I think Yanni sent me a WhatsApp, though it was very late. I think it was on Tuesday. That's when she said, like, we can do that together. So I was just worried about time because we were supposed to submit following day.
Okay, when did I ask you to submit? What was the original closing date?
It was Wednesday, I think at 8 in the evening.
Is that now Wednesday, yesterday?
Yesterday. Yes. It was yesterday.
All right. So for those that haven't submitted, I will give you till Wednesday next week coming up. All right. So do that then.
Oh,
Okay. Is there anybody else? Charmaine, Ashley will pair up with you. She just made your offer in the chat box.
Yay!
In the
Thank
chat box,
you.
there is a number. So Ashley and
okay.
Charmaine, you sorted out. Anybody else? Is there anybody
Okay,
else who
so
hasn't got a partner?
Thank you.
Everybody. Everybody's got one. If you do talk to me and your mic is not unmuted, I can't hear you. So if you want to say something, just unmute your. Okay, Charmaine, you sorted. Delta, you sure? Anneke, you are sorted, ne?
Yeah, we are sorted, me and Carmen.
Carmen
I
Daniels or Carmen Johnson?
Daniels.
Myself, Daniels.
All right, Carmen Johnson, are you sorted?
Myself and Zanelli, we together.
Okay, I haven't heard that. Just repeat that for me, please.
I said Zanelli and I are together.
Zanele and you are sorted, right? Okay, Didi, are you okay? Didi? All right, so Didi not. I can't, Didi.
Me and Diddy are partners.
Kelly and Didi. Okay, so everybody is sorted. All right, wonderful. Okay.
Are we going to get some feedback on the video recordings or the things that we did?
On the one that you submitted now, the
Yes.
conversation, yes, you're going to get feedback on that. You're going to get feedback individually.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
But I'm not going to evaluate it. It will only be a feedback conversation, not evaluation.
Okay.
All right. Good.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else?
okay. All right, Leon, I wanted to ask, did you receive my email today? This after, I think, no, in the morning. I sent it around 10 or 11.
Delta,
Yeah.
did I receive your email around 10 or 11? And let me look, 10, 11. I'm going back till yesterday. No, I haven't received it there. Did you send it to Leon or to info?
To info.
To info. Let me just look for you. 10, 11 o'clock this morning.
Yes.
No, I haven't received any email from you this morning.
Really? What happened? Okay.
Delta, sorry, I've got an email from D. Mashitele.
Yeah, it's me.
There's your problem. I don't know D. Mashitele. Okay, I received it next week, Monday to Friday, 16:30. Now let me do that now for you.
Okay.
Can we do Tuesday at
Or-
5 o'clock?
Yes. Okay, it's fine.
And that is D.
My chitele.
Mashitele. All
Ah.
right. Okay, D. Tuesday, 5 o'clock. I will send you an invite. All right.
Thank
Okay.
you, Leon.
And that will be it. Not more. Not more. Okay. Can I just quickly ask? I can go and have a look, but maybe you can assist me just by saying to me, Charmaine, so you haven't submitted the coaching conversation with your partner, not yet.
No, I did email. Sorry, this is not an excuse. I hope.
Yes, no. Don't
But
worry about
I got back Monday night, 8 o'clock.
Yeah. No, don't
I
worry.
have
I
not
just
got
want to
to.
make sure.
I
I want to
apologize.
go through the ones that are meeting next week when
Okay.
if I've got it. So yours, there won't be a discussion on your conversation, but we will have a normal conversation. Yanni, you did
Okay.
send something in. Not yet.
No,
All
not
right.
yet.
Okay. And Kelly? Kelly Shepherd?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I have.
You have. Right. So we will talk about, I will listen to yours before Tuesday. And Delta, you haven't sent one in. All right. So I will have a conversation with Kelly. Yanni, you the only one. No, sorry. Tuesday. Delta, if you've got a conversation before Sunday evening, 12 o'clock. I
Okay.
will go through it before Tuesday. If not, it will stand over till next time.
All right.
Okay, good. Anneke, did you submit yours?
Yes, I did submit it.
All right, but I already had a conversation with you, if I'm not, because we've done our
Yes.
conversation. All
Yeah.
right, I will listen to yours and I will give you a quick feedback call. And then I
Okay.
will give you feedback on the content of yours. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Who else submitted yours? Sorry, I haven't got who's
I've
me?
submitted
Sorry.
my Carmen Daniel.
Carmen Daniels.
Yeah.
Okay, Carmen, I will also give you a quick call for feedback. Anybody else? Nobody.
Can I
Yes.
ask, like, maybe I was lost somewhere. What are you referring to when you're talking about the submission? Which conversation?
The conversation that you just said, I'm looking for a partner to have the coach session number 1. That recording,
Okay.
Anneke, Carmen, and Kelly Shepherd.
Okay.
I will go through that and give you feedback. The other ones I will wait for. Don't worry about it.
All right. Thank you.
It will not count against you if you're late with assignments. It won't count. As long as I get it and I can give you the hours by the end of the program, then I will feel happy about being your partner.
Okay.
All right. Okay, guys. Yes.
We also submitted. I submitted mine and Charmaine, but we had some technical glitches. So you'll see in the emails because the other one ended up Charmaine's one ended up to be 2 videos.
All right. Are you talking? You're talking about yours and Charmaine, the coach client, both conversations.
Yes, Charmaine is a coach in one, and I'm also a coach in the other one.
Okay, but you're talking about you submitted both, but you had problems. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I submitted both because I was recording. She couldn't record the Zoom, so I was recording. So I've submitted all of them.
Okay, let me just quickly check if I've got
yes,
it.
Today.
Today?
Yeah. Around about 3.
And you did it through WeTransfer?
Oh, okay. I think that's the thing. Okay.
We just see. If you did submit it and it wasn't through WeTransfer and it's too big, then it will lie on the server and it won't come through to my inbox.
Okay.
And I will most probably get it, but then the IT guy will download it and bring it to me maybe next week and Friday. So WeTransfer.
I'll do it on Saturday. I will see if we can do it on Saturday again.
No problem. No problem. Okay, good. Anybody else? Don't forget to watch the video on planning my practice. It's important because I need to know what questions you've got that I can answer before you start planning your practice, all right? And there's also a business plan. You will see there's under planning my practice, there is a business plan of approximately 48 pages that I gave you, and how do you compile a business plan if you want to do that. But I've got better ones than that one that I can give you as well, all right? Okay, guys, thank you. I will see you then next week, the people that I made appointments with, and the other ones, Anneke, Carmen, I will give you a quick call after I complete, but most probably I'll be over the weekend, and then we will have a quick chat. The other people, I will see you then next week and Thursday evening.